Prepare to hear a story of courage so profound, it defies belief. This is the account of Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez, a man whose actions on a single day in Vietnam etched his name into the annals of military history and serve as an enduring testament to the human spirit. His legacy is not just a historical footnote, but a living example for every soldier and citizen. Born in the small Texas town of Lindenau in 1935, Roy Benavidez faced hardship early in life. Orphaned as a child, he learned resilience and determination from a young age. These qualities would later define his extraordinary service. He answered the call to duty, enlisting in the Texas Army National Guard in 1952 during the Korean War. His commitment led him to transfer to active duty in the United States Army in 1955. He was a soldier through and through, dedicated to his country and his fellow servicemen. Benavidez became a member of the Studies and Observations Group, known as SOG. This highly classified, Joint Service Special Operations Unit conducted covert unconventional warfare operations. Their missions were among the most dangerous of the Vietnam War, requiring exceptional skill, bravery, and teamwork. Serving in SOG demanded peak physical and mental conditioning. It was here that Benavidez honed the skills and forged the iron will that would be tested to the absolute limit. His training prepared him for the unimaginable challenges that lay ahead. The date is May 2, 1968. The location is a dense jungle near Loc Ninh, South Vietnam. A 12-man Special Forces reconnaissance team, codenamed Hatchet Force, found itself in desperate trouble. They were surrounded and overwhelmed by a large, determined North Vietnamese Army force. Pinned down, taking heavy casualties, and facing annihilation, the team's situation was critical. Radio calls for help painted a grim picture. Extraction attempts were met with intense enemy fire, making rescue seem impossible. Back at the forward operating base, Roy Benavidez heard the desperate radio traffic. Though he had recently recovered from a serious injury and was not scheduled for the mission, he knew his brothers were in dire straits. He didn't hesitate. Without orders, driven by an unbreakable bond of camaraderie, Benavidez volunteered to go in. He boarded a helicopter, armed only with a knife and a medical bag. His mission: reach the besieged team and help them survive. As the helicopter approached the landing zone, it was immediately met with a hail of enemy bullets. Benavidez jumped from the hovering aircraft and ran towards the pinned-down team, instantly drawing enemy fire. He was severely wounded almost immediately by rifle fire. Ignoring his injuries, he reached the perimeter, providing covering fire and administering first aid. He organized the survivors, distributing ammunition and directing their defense. The enemy assault was relentless, coming from all sides. For the next 6 hours, under continuous, heavy enemy fire, Benavidez fought with unimaginable ferocity. He moved among the wounded, pulling them to cover, bandaging their injuries, and retrieving vital communications equipment from fallen comrades. He was wounded again and again by bullets, shrapnel, and a bayonet. Despite excruciating pain and massive blood loss, he continued to fight, rally his comrades, and direct air support. He single-handedly held off enemy advances, ensuring the survival of the remaining team members. His actions were not just brave, they were superhuman. Finally, after hours of intense combat, extraction helicopters managed to land. Benavidez, though barely conscious and riddled with wounds, helped load the wounded onto the aircraft. He ensured everyone possible was aboard before collapsing. Upon reaching the aid station, medics believed he was dead. As a medic prepared to zip up his body bag, Benavidez, with his last ounce of strength, spit in the medic's face. It was a sign of life, a final act of defiance from a man who refused to die. Roy Benavidez survived, but his recovery was long and arduous. Initially, due to the chaos and the belief he wouldn't live, he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his actions. While a high honor, it did not fully capture the magnitude of his heroism. Years later, through the persistent efforts of his former commander and others who knew the full story, his case was reviewed. New testimony emerged, detailing the extent of his valor and sacrifice. The evidence was overwhelming. On February 24, 1981, over a decade after the battle, Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez stood before President Ronald Reagan at the Pentagon. In a moving ceremony, his Distinguished Service Cross was upgraded to the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest award for military valor. President Reagan recounted Benavidez's incredible story, stating, "If the story of his heroism were a movie script, you would not believe it." This long overdue recognition cemented his place among America's greatest heroes. After retiring from the Army in 1976, Benavidez didn't stop serving. He dedicated his life to inspiring young people, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds. He traveled the country, sharing his story and encouraging students to stay in school and consider military service as a path to success and purpose. He also became a tireless advocate for Vietnam veterans, fighting for their rights and ensuring they received the care and recognition they deserved. His commitment to his fellow veterans was as strong as his commitment on the battlefield. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez passed away on November 29, 1998. He was laid to rest with full military honors at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery in San Antonio, Texas. His grave is a place of pilgrimage for those who wish to pay tribute to a true American hero. His story is more than just history, it is a vital part of military training and ethos. Benavidez's actions exemplify the core values of courage, selfless service, and never leaving a fallen comrade behind. His ordeal is studied in military academies and training programs as a prime example of leadership under fire and unwavering determination. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez's life is a powerful lesson in resilience, courage, and dedication. His actions on May 2, 1968, were not just about survival, they were about the profound bond between soldiers and the extraordinary lengths one person will go to protect others. We honor his memory not just by recounting his deeds, but by striving to embody the values he lived by. Learn more about his incredible story, share it with others, and reflect on the meaning of true heroism and sacrifice. Let his legacy inspire you to face challenges with courage and serve your community with dedication. Like, share and subscribe to the channel to learn more about service members who went above and beyond the call of duty.